Hey, Joseph, give us the details on this next weather alert day. Oh, wow. That's really changed since the past couple of hours.
Yeah, it's the front edge of this system. So the best way to describe it is things are going to deteriorate through the day, especially once we get to lunchtime and head into the afternoon, into the evening hours when we start noticing more moisture moving in and we start getting a chance for some snowfall around here. So yes, next weather alert. More so for, again, the afternoon and the evening, mostly concerned about your evening commute around here. I think things could get slushy, it's going to get wet, and I just want you to be ready for it now. Or maybe just get everything done now while it's still quiet, if you have that option, and just kind of stay indoors a little bit later. All right, so we do have the green tower. That's just indicating that moisture will be moving on in. Here's the system now down to the southwest, and honestly, the front edge is colliding with some drier air, so not all of that is actually reaching the surface, but once we get some reinforcement there, then we'll start picking up on just more consistent snow. For the Twin Cities, really Hennepin County out through about, let's go with McLeod County and extending to the west there. It's going to take a little extra time, but I do think from about 9 to noon is when we'll start noticing maybe some more snowflakes approaching us, and then I think we'll see some very light snow as we get closer to noon. But again, I think the intensity really ramps up as we head into the evening hours. I'm going to go with 5 to about 10 p.m. to see probably the heaviest, slushiest snow, maybe some rain and a wintry mix. Also, I think we're going to get just about every single precipitation type with this because of the air mass aloft and how thin some of the warm air versus the cold air is. Okay, so plan on snow that's going to be wet and heavy, but also plan on probably some rain mixing in as well. All right, so that's the number one necessary detail. This is going to be a heavy wet snow, so if you're doing any sort of shoveling in some of the locations up north, it's going to be tough. There's going to be some commute issues, I think, this evening, and then potentially tomorrow morning as well. All right, the ground's definitely going to be wet. We're going to have snow up north. I just want you to get prepared for that slower commute for your Wednesday morning, and it's also going to be breezy. So even though we're going to have heavy wet snow and rain, that can still blow around with gusts pushing about 40 miles per hour later today. All right, watch the forecast miles. It's going to spread that snow up towards the northeast. Again, I think that heaviest will be about 5 to 10 p.m. You can see that darker hue, that purple and the blue there as it extends up to the north. And it should slow down. I think we'll get a bit of a lull after midnight to maybe about 3 or 4 a.m. And then we start picking up on our second or third wave of moisture. Now, you'll see the cutoff of snow north of 94, green showers down to the south. That's because we're going to finally start to get some warmer, more consistent air aloft above our heads as we go into Wednesday morning, transitioning pretty much to rain at that point in time. And I'm also not ruling out maybe even a stray thunderstorm as we go into our Wednesday morning. We'll keep that going as we go through the day, but I think we really cut off the moisture around 2, 3 p.m. Just snow up north, dry time to the south. Our evening commute tomorrow should be better versus today. And then we'll just get some lingering activity as we get to the back side of that system Wednesday night into Thursday. Here's a general idea of the snowfall forecast. Higher totals, again, up north. I'm still going with about 1 to 3 inches around the Twin Cities. I think more so on the lower end for the downtown area and points south. Maybe a little bit higher there to the north. In fact, here's our snowfall potential based off multiple models. 1 to 3 there. You can see a few on the low side, a couple on the higher side. That's why we're going with about 1 to 3. Most of the weather models seem to be around that mark. All right, are you thinking about the home opener? Maybe you're going. Maybe you have time off. You could do it. Temperatures in the 40s. We're locked into that. I think we're going to be in the mid-40s. Nothing warmer than that. But at least we get through these 2 kind of wet, snowy days, get some dry time for the home opener, and then we have a really nice start to the weekend. Friday at 53. And Saturday at 50, we'll melt off that snow and it should be good.
Sure will. All right, Joseph, thank you.